Welcome to the show, ladies and gents. We're here. We talk about wrestling.
Charlotte beat me. I put you in a neck brace before. I have no problem doing it again.
You haven't seen it, honey? I was...
Oh, bitch! No, the fuck no! So much balls. There's too much balls on that rap. Too many red balls. Look at all these balls. Look at this. Damn! Oh, Jesus! We are witnessing child abuse on TV, Lord. Oh, have mercy. Now, watch your mouth when you talking to me, ho. Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. You ain't getting nothing. You don't get nothing. You either earn it or you don't. You pasty bitch. That ain't how this works. Uh-oh, hit him with a zigzag. Let's go, baby. Let's go, dog. Let's go. I'm fucks with it. We sick of your shit.
Hey, girl, hey. Life, relationships, pop culture.
Well, go ahead. I'm listening. And he'll be looking at me. He will be looking at me and he will go to sleep. He will go to sleep. Look at me in my face. I'm talking to you.
We talk about it all, baby. So, y'all ready? I know y'all ready. Because it's showtime. And that's on the ancestors, baby. Okay, so NXT is over. And we're just going to dive into it. Pretty Deadly started off the show today. And basically, they just was really hyped about them being the host of Stand and Deliver, while also saying disparaging remarks about Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes and Trick came out to defend themselves, and Trick Williams decided to put Carmelo and Braun Breaker in a match tonight against Pretty Deadly, and that was your main event. Although I honestly felt like the match between JD McDonough and Ilya Dragunov could have been the main event, but we'll get to that in a second. This was your main event for the night. And it was a decent match. There was not a lot of frills and thrills to this match. It was good. It ended with the the challenger and the champ standing tall, per the usual, and basically glaring each other down like we are going to tear the house down at Stand and Deliver. I expected nothing less. Unfortunately, Pretty Deadly had to be served up to them, but at the same time, it did prove how dedicated both men were to preserving themselves for NXT Stand and Deliver, but more specifically, how well they can work together even when they have a common goal, which is to beat the other. So it was an interesting thing to watch. Roxanne, on the other hand, did send out a tweet today, and in her tweet, it says, I can't thank at NXT enough, the NXT universe enough for all the thoughts and prayers for over the past 2 weeks. The outpouring of support fills my heart. I wish I had better news, but the doctors are saying we're no closer to finding out what happened to me at Roadblock. I'm very frustrated, but I will be back stronger than ever, but I just don't know when. So Roxanne is still out, and we're 2 weeks out from Stand and Deliver. If they don't figure out something to keep this storyline going, I don't know what they're going to do. At this point, the fatal four-way has been filled, and there's set to be one more member added to this match, making it a fatal five-way. The 4 women who are going to compete for the NXT Women's Championship are Tiffany Stratton, Zoe Stark, Lyra Valkyria, I believe I'm saying her name, and Gigi Dolan. Those are your 4 girls that are going to compete for the NXT Women's Championship. because today we had two matches, two qualifiers. One was against Ivy Nile, which on Monday, yesterday, the announcement was for Wendy Chu. Now, I don't know if this was an old announcement or they forgot that Wendy was on a kayfabe injury hiatus, but the reality is Wendy Chu has been out because she was attacked by some mysterious attacker in the parking lot. Okay, so it was weird to see her name announced, but they ended up changing it today to Ivy Nile. Now, Tatum Paxley didn't come out there and cost Ivy Nile that match. She lost it clean to Lyra, so it is what it is. Also, Indy Hartwell lost her match clean to Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton performed well in this match. I'm not the biggest fan of her character, but wrestling wise, she's not bad in the ring at all. And quite frankly, she's improved beyond what most people expected. So, I mean, good for her, but it's horrible for fucking Indy because she's always the one who's being served up to everybody. The way I see it, if the other girls are not going to be going to stand and deliver, why couldn't Electra be the one to put over Tiffany Stratton? I don't get it. I don't get it. But after this match was over, she was in the back. She was frustrated. NXT Anonymous caught her in the back, just basically tearing up the backstage completely. And, well, Zoe Starks walked past her and basically was just, taunting her. She basically was just like, well, I'm not going to see you at Stand and Deliver. Yeah, okay, Zoe. Live your best life. Moving on to bigger and better things. The next thing we saw was Ilya Dragunov and JD McDonough. But before that, we saw the appearance of Dragon Lee. No, she cannot. She cannot catch a break. Hi, Nicole. Kenny's not in yet. I don't know where Kenny is. She's not here. She's usually here, but she must have been buried deep in her video game today. She's playing WWE 2K 23, so she's playing 2K23, so she's probably knee deep in the lock mode on the game. Oh, the returning Amish is coming on. Okay, that's something her and Nicole love to watch. Anyway, Dragon Lee debuted today against Wes Lee, and he didn't debut in a match. Wes Lee was making the announcement of the people who are going to face him in the NXT North American Championship match. Wes Lee basically gave his accolades to people and who he wanted to compete against and how he was a fighting champion. With all that being said, he gave the first slot to Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee will make his debut at NXT Stand and Deliver next Saturday. Now, this is a big deal because Dragon Lee was one of the biggest and brightest acquisitions that WWE has acquired in a very long time. He is a formidable luchador down in Mexico and just across the world. Most people know who he is in the wrestling world. If you don't know who he is, then do some research and digging, and I'm sure there are plenty of YouTube videos for you to look up and look at about Dragon Lee and what he's capable of. Probably one of the greatest high flyers we've seen in this company. And right now, everybody's looking at him to be the next, if not better, Rey Mysterio. Okay. He's improved his English and it's exceptionally well. So I see nothing but higher straights for this man, especially if WWE books him properly. As long as they don't give him the Kalisto and Lince Dorado move or the Grand Metalik stories, we'll be good. We will be good, okay? However, this left 3 slots open for the NXT North American Championship. As this match progressed, this thing exploded. Dragon Lee was sitting at the ringside, listening and watching the match. And well, he ended up being hit by somebody. I don't remember who was thrown into who, but somebody was thrown into Dragon Lee, and this caused a lot of discord. Dragon Lee ended up interfering in said match, and that caused the disqualification. All four men started fighting because Wes Lee dove on all three of them and took everybody out, and this just caused bitter chaos. Referees were brought out, and this all changed the trajectory of this ladder match at Stand and Deliver. So now Wesley has made it that JD McDonough and Ilya Dragunov are also included in this match. There's one more slot left for this match. That slot is going to go to a Battle Royal winner recipient. Next week, there's going to be a Battle Royal, and it's going to feature several NXT superstars from Dabakota to Axiom to, I don't know, Dijak. Jinder Mahal was in there. So many people are probably going to be in this Battle Royal. I assume Odyssey Jones would be there. They could fill it out with Idris and Malik if that's what they wanted to do. But there's plenty of people who could be in this Battle Royal. Quite frankly, I think Apollo Crews should show up and cost Dabakota the opportunity. But that's just me. Wishful thinking. She said Dragon Lee is him. He's a very, 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 very good luchador. And if you haven't seen him, like I said, I highly recommend that you guys check him out and just search for him on YouTube or just Google him, period. And I'm sure some videos will pop up on some platform for you to watch what he's capable of. Because if you like high flyers and you love that luchador style, he's one of the best to ever do it. JD through Ilya, got it. Then JD hit Dragon Lee, got it. Got it. Okay. So yeah, Modoc was tripping. He came out there talking about he wasn't looking for Wesley's title, but any title anybody's looking for. All right. Now today Fallon confronted Kiana. Kiana pretended as if she didn't understand what the hell was going on. And she was like, Brooks is like family to me. I'm not going to let you bowl over him or lie to him when you know you're not feeling him like that. And so Kiana was like, you know what? We got a championship to defend and you're worried about this. She said, she's my family. Well, as Fallon was looking for Brooks, it seems she ended up getting attacked by Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. This led to a brawl between those four women. And of course, Kiana was basically like, listen, we got our differences, but we got a lot to worry about when it comes to Stand and Deliver. Are you on board with focusing now? Kiana asked. Fallon agreed. So now the two are on the same page, despite what's going on with their own personal issues. Now, next week, Eddie Thorpe is supposed to debut on NXT. So we'll see how Eddie Thorpe pans out next week. What we also got to see was the great debate between Chase U and Schism. Now, Chase U and Schism were basically going back and forth with their ideologies about their respective factions, or I guess you could say places to belong. And Duke Hudson just seems to be uninterested in both of them. He basically is just like, well, you gave me a mask and, Chase U made me feel like I belonged. So I guess it's nice to belong. It was very, very lackluster. Now, Andre Chase and Schism, everybody was going back and forth. And then Tyler Bates shows up and gives an impassioned speech about what Chase U is about. It's about growth and maximizing your potential and being just better people as a whole. It's not always focusing on wins and losses, which that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. However, they decided we're going to challenge you at Stand and Deliver. Schism versus Chase U and Tyler Bate. And Joe Gacy declined. He's like, the Dyad already beat you two. And of course, I beat you. So what do I have to prove? We have nothing to gain by wrestling you. We have already proven that we are more dominant than you. Duke Hudson was like, fine. we'll give you Chase U. You win, you beat us, you own Chase U. Andre Chase is like, what are you doing? Joe Gacy was like, you're on. So now Chase U is up for grabs. Chase U is at the forefront. It is on its dying legs. If for any reason Schism regains control of Chase U, then NXT as we know it is slowly going to descend into the Schism. Everything will be absorbed. This is a problem that has to be fixed. But I don't know if Andre Chase and the crew, and including Tyler Bate, are going to be enough to fix it. But if you think so, I'm going to put my faith in y'all, I guess. With all that being said, there have been several matches that are decided for NXT Stand and Deliver. Again, Tyler Bate and Chase U will compete against the Schism for control of Chase U. And of course, Wesley's opponents have all been decided except for one. A battle royal will decide the final contender for Wesley's NXT North American Championship. And Roxanne's NXT Women's Championship has all four competitors with the exception of one. Now we're not sure of how that's going to be decided, but it seems that somebody's going to pop up, and I'm just hoping that it's Roxanne. For all the things that Roxanne had to go through to get that championship, it would seem really disingenuous to me to have her just drop it like this in this way. So it is what it is. Bobblehead need to slow his roll. JD gonna say you lucky I hadn't challenged for this sooner. I'm like, shit, you couldn't even get it done with Brian. Next, well, I mean, fair. I mean, he's right. Another damn EDM gimmick. What can you do, Nicole? They doing what they know how to do in NXT. You either like it or you don't. And clearly, babes, you don't like it. So we're just gonna let you have it. They're gonna need more than just Tyler. We need an army. I don't know where they're gonna get that army from. Anyways, like I said earlier, the show ended with these two fighting it out against Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly was looking real nice at the beginning of the show. I don't know their names for sure, but I preferred the blonde haired guy in Pretty Deadly's outfit. He had some of these really pretty green pants. They were wide leg pants. He had on, I think it was a close fitting shirt. I can't remember if it was turtleneck or not. And then he had on one of those what do they call it? Cage style belts, but it's above the waist, you know? It was nice. I think he looked good. He looked really good. Hashtag cashed off for SummerSlam. Oh wow. Because they're gonna be in Detroit. What song they gonna use by Cash Doll for Detroit? Pick the song, Don. Pick the song, because I know you know a song. Are you gonna talk about Javier Bernal coming out to Gargano's music? Hadn't finished talking about the show yet, Kayla. You have to give me a second. Not all of them. Hell no. Johnny Gargano came out, called Pretty Deadly up. They're beyond ready. Before I get to Gargano, Gallus was in the pub, and they were she said, "Stop it! It's gonna be ghetto enough as it is." We'll circle back the review. I can't listen. Gallus was in the pub. They were drinking and they were playing pool. Creed brothers went inside and basically had a little mini competition with Gallus. From pool, they lost. To darts, they dominated. And then they requested a match at Stand and Deliver. They got that request granted. But when they walked outside, Tony D and the underboss were standing out there and they basically said, hey, Where you going? We got some more stuff to discuss about Stand and Deliver. So they went back inside the bar and continued drinking and playing games. Got a little hectic for the boys because the next time you saw them, all of them were laid out with the exception of Gallus. Fucking phone falls on the floor every day. Anyways, with the exception of Gallus, everybody was laid out and pretty much drunk off their asses from playing games, and drinking beer. Well, Gallus accepted the challenges of Tony D and the Underboss and the Creed brothers. So now at Set and Deliver, it is going to be Gallus versus Tony D and his Underboss, and of course the Creed brothers for the NXT Tag Team Championships. As far as Gargano is concerned, Kayla is correct. Big Body Javi came out to Gargano's music and was very upset because he felt as though Gargano took away his spot. Blah, blah, blah. It really wasn't anything to talk about if we're being real. The only thing that happened is Gargano beat up Javi, which Javi gets beat up every day. So that's not newsworthy. What is newsworthy is that Grayson Waller is not new to the game, but he is using very old WWE tropes from Triple H's handbook, Randy's handbook, and of course his own boss, Shawn Michaels' handbook. Now, you can say Grayson Waller is beyond prepared to be an NXT superstar, or more specifically, a main roster superstar. That's yet to be decided. What we know for sure is that Grayson Waller is more than capable of talking his way into an ass whooping as well as setting somebody else up for one. So, with all that being said, Johnny Gargano made it very clear that he wants an unsanctioned match, a match where there are no rules and there are no consequences for your actions. Grayson Waller would not accept unless Johnny Gargano was out of the building. He wanted him banned and never allowed to set foot in that building until he made his decision. And he did not come out there because, cowards aren't going to face their fears or foes. They usually find some kind of conniving way to manipulate and find and get their way. But ultimately, everybody has their comeuppance, including Grayson Waller. And while, yes, he got the drop on Johnny Gargano this past Tuesday and today, who's to say that's going to happen at Stand and Deliver? So I guess we'll just have to wait and see. It's still set to be Johnny Gargano versus Grayson Waller at Stand and Deliver. Now, what kind of match that will be, well, I guess that's left up to Grayson Waller. He still has to sign the contract that Gargano presented tonight on NXT. Did I miss anything else? Are we good now? They refuse to put the new graphics up here, and I'm just waiting for them to fix it. Annoying. Okie dokie. I did not know who that damn man was. It was Big Body Hobby. um so I can't wait for NXT next week. There's gonna be a lot of wrestling next week. A lot of wrestling next week. Okay. It's gonna be a lot. So we're gonna be stuck watching Raw, NXT, SmackDown. And if you watch AEW, you will be stuck watching AEW as well. And then Friday, you have SmackDown and you have the Hall of Fame if you care to watch. And then after that, on Saturday at 1 p.m., Stand and Deliver comes on. And then another 7 hours later, at 8 o'clock, is the first night of WrestleMania. it's it's gonna be a lot going on. A lot. Okay. Nicole said, I was like, is this someone from the PC? Why he out here? Girl. Okay. Now this SummerSlam. I make that shit so damn ghetto. It'll be BET Hip Hop Awards. Oh hell no. Hell no. No, Don, it's already gonna be ghetto. I feel it in my bones. He's Mackenzie's biggest pest. It's okay. Wow. Hello, Vanny. How are you? That is craziness. However, ladies and gents, the show must go on. Yes. And right now, WrestleMania is shaping up. I was scared it was gonna be one of them 2 out of 3 fall shits he was always doing. I thought it was at first too, but I guess he decided that the best way for him to go is to go for an unsanctioned match, which if it's unsanctioned, it doesn't really matter if Grayson Waller wins it or not because it's off the books. So it is what it is, unfortunately. I mean, it's in Detroit. Well, very, very good, dog. Dominic is getting on my nerves and I don't like it. Well, unfortunately, Dominic Mysterio isn't going anywhere, babes. So you can choose to ignore him like I do, or you can continue to react to him and give him the reaction that he wants and what bolsters him to be seen on television even more. Totally up to you, babes. Anywhoosies, they're really milking this thing with Roxanne. Um, I don't know. Ray better say something this week. I imagine that he will. Rey Mysterio's not gonna just let his family be harmed, and more than likely, Dominic is gonna have Rhea probably attack his mother or attack his sister, and then he's gonna be so angry and so pushed over the edge, he's gonna give that boy that match, and of course, he's gonna be sitting there smiling and being happy, and I got what I wanted, and it's like, okay, great. I don't really care either way, so. Live your best life, I guess, bitch. Because at this point, I'm not gonna be watching, nor do I care. That match is definitely a bathroom break for me, and it's all because of how WWE booked it. So, you know, it's a what can you do type of situation. Hold tight, y'all. Oh, my leg is killing me. Ray wife slapped Carrion in the face. A fan caught it. I was like, oop, you tried the wrong one. Yeah, she good for a good slap. It's only one though. She only good for one good slap. Her hand must hurt the next time she do it, cause every time I turn around, Rhea Ripley right there. I be like, girl, hit her too, slap her too. She don't do nothing, child. She don't do nothing. Anyways, I've been waiting for WWE's website to update these graphics, the graphic cards for Stand and Deliver, and they still ain't did it. I'm as sick of them. They put the shit up on TV, but then don't put it up on the website. That's just lazy. And the bar fucked up too. That's crazy. So this is the scene I was telling you all about with the tag team championships. The boys was just laid out. They was drunk, or so they wanted everybody to pretend that they were. This is what the scene was, and when they decided that it's gonna be a triple threat for the tag team championships. Now next week, I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but of course it's gonna be a lot of chaos because we got one battle royal, so you do know that. But it's gonna be a lot of chaos leading into WrestleMania and Stand and Deliver next week. But Tiffany Stratton did have something to say to Gigi Dolan during Gigi Dolan's interview. Basically, she was just, having a Tiffany epiphany. I'm like, wow, it must be a lot of space in that head for you to have an epiphany, child. And it always be at the same time. Like, girl, you special. Anyway,
Ain't that much space in there.
there's a lot of room in her head. Ain't no brain in there.
Damn airhead.
That's why she got a lot of space, babe. What you think in there?
The air, they take all the space.
Nigga, all right. That's enough. That's enough for you, babes. That's enough. No more space for you. Don said, I took 2 leaves and just smoked. I'm stuck. Nigga, you chemical high and natural high, go to hell. Respectfully, go to hell. Now, Nicole missed the group chat convo when we was talking about earlier, Donnie. I didn't get to see if she saw everything. But the conversation we had in the group chat earlier was in regards to an excerpt from Sasha Banks, Mercedes Bernardo or Mercedes Monet's um, an interview she did, where she was talking about how WWE missed the mark when it comes to Liv Morgan and how she was their next big star. When she left that night or walked out that night, she basically went up to Gianna and told her, like, you're the next star, and I know you're gonna kill it, and giving her all the praise and accolades, which cool beans, had no issues with that. Where we had a problem is where you come to the end where she says that, yeah, about that. Hi, Tirza. Where we had a problem, or where most of us had a problem with it, was you missed NXT. So hold tight, y'all. For Tears' sake, I'm going to recap it one more time. All right. So Pretty Deadly came out for NXT in the beginning and basically started shitting on hold on a second. Hold on, Tears, before you go off half cocked. Hold on. Let me tell you about NXT, and then you can and then you could go on the tangent. I promise. Okay. Pretty Deadly came out to talk about them hosting Stand and Deliver, and basically they started bashing Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes. This led to Carmelo and Trick Williams coming out there, and basically Trick Williams set a match for Carmelo and Braun Breaker to face off against Pretty Deadly in the main event tonight. Now, like I said earlier, me personally, I believe that Ilya and JD McDonough's match should have been the main event, especially given the events that transpired during said main event, during said match. Okay. So later on in the show, the match is set. Carmelo Hayes is upset with Trick because he says he doesn't want to have a can they see them coexist moment on TV. He's ready to take the title. He's not trying to be Braun Breaker's friend, which, I mean, fair, okay? But Trick Williams actually said something smart for once. He said, you need to have a front row seat to Braun Breaker's way of competing. You get to see it right there in your face, and nobody else is going to be blocking the view. You don't have to watch the tape. You can physically be there and watch how this man moves. You get to see how he thinks. You get to see how he's going to move in the match with you. You can clearly see everything, and I'll take the notes. And then all we got to do is review and come up with a strategy for you to beat Braun Breaker at Stand and Deliver. The goal is still the same for you to be champion. We just figured out a new way to make sure that goal happens. So Carmelo Hayes was like, all right, bet. Trick Williams was like, thank you, Trick Williams. He was like, you're welcome, Carmelo. I was like, bro. They still got plenty of time with Liv. I'm going to get to that in a second, Nicole. I promise you I'm going to get to it. For Tears' sake, I wanted to recap NXT for her right quick. So we had 2 qualifier matches for the NXT Women's Championship Fatal 5-Way, it seems, at NXT Stand and Deliver. All right. Tiffany Stratton went up against Indy Hartwell, and she beat her. And Lyra went up against Ivy Nile, and Lyra beat her. Okay, so now it's going to be Tiffany Stratton, Gigi Dolan, Zoe Stark, and Lyra to compete for the NXT Women's Championship at Stand and Deliver. There is still a 5th slot open, and quite possibly they could have Roxanne show up the day of and be cleared and have an opportunity to compete in that match and, defend her championship. But given the fact that Roxanne put this message out there, that may or may not be happening. We don't know. And we don't know if next week they're going to fill that 5th slot for the NXT Women's Championship either. In her tweet, she said, I can't thank the NXT universe enough for all the thoughts and prayers over the past 2 weeks. The outpouring of support fills my heart. I wish I had better news, but the doctors are saying we are no closer to finding out what happened to me at Roadblock. I'm very frustrated, but I will be back stronger than ever, but I just don't know when. So this right here is just, I don't know if this is kayfabe. I mean, it is kayfabe, but I don't know if this kayfabe is going to last throughout past Stand and Deliver, or if it's just going to be a situation of Roxanne is going to pop up at Stand and Deliver, defend her championship, and retain it. Okay, I think that Shawn Michaels is probably stretching this out though. Wait, I'm lost. What did she say? I'm finna get to it. I just gotta recap things for Cheers right quick. I promise. I'm gonna get to what Mercedes said. Dragon Lee debuted tonight. Dragon Lee was entered into the North American Championship ladder match. Wesley put him in the match. He had the power to decide who can be in that match for his championship. That's what Shawn Michaels gave him. He also put JD McDonough and Ilya Dragunov in this match due to the fact that they were all out there. JD McDonough obviously threatened him before his match with Ilya. Ilya and JD McDonough have their own bad blood. This all spilled out into the ring against everybody. Ilya got thrown over the announcer's table or thrown into the area where Dragon Lee was, and then JD McDonough hit Dragon Lee. So you had a whole situation going on where the boys started fighting. This match was called a disqualification, and everything just blew up into this massive problem. Okay, the boys were fighting, and so Wesley put JD and Ilya in that ladder match with him, along with Dragon Lee, for the NXT North American Championship. And next week there will be a full battle royal that's going to include Axiom, Jinder Mahal, Dabakota, and what was the 4th dude that showed up today?
You said Jinder,
Dabakota, Axiom, Dijak. That's who it was. It was Dijak. So all 4 of these guys are going to be in the battle royal, and I'm sure there are going to be plenty more. Like I said, Odyssey Jones, Idris, and Malik could possibly be in it. There's plenty of people who could possibly be in this battle royal. And today we had a great debate between Chase U and Schism. Schism essentially defended the fact that the world is a terrible place and that the Schism family is the best place for you to be at. Whereas Chase U inspires those to be their best self. They promote growth and strength, and they promote individuality. Whereas Schism promotes one goal, one way. And so the debate was pretty much split down the middle, but to make a decision on who's the better group, they decided to challenge the schism again in full capacity along with Tyler Bate. Now, Joe Gacy said, no, we've already beaten you as the dyad on a tag team level, and I've beaten you in singles competition. I have no desire to wrestle you. We've proven everything we needed to prove. Well, Duke Hudson was like, okay, fine. We'll give you Chase U if you win. There's an incentive for you to do the match. Joe Gacy accepted. So Chase U is now on the line at Stand and Deliver. If Chase U loses to the schism, they will all be absorbed into the dyad. And God help us all if that happens. All right. Also, Eddie Thorpe has been teased to debut next week. I've never seen Eddie Thorpe, but it is what it is. And of course, the NXT Tag Team Championships have all been decided. The boys went to a pub today. Gallus went in there and was just drinking as they normally do. And of course, they went in there and the Creed brothers came in and decided that they wanted to, have a little fun with the Gallus. They played a little pool. Creed brothers lost that pool. They played a little darts. The Gallus lost at some darts. So they decided that they needed to settle it once and for all as Stand and deliver for the NXT championships. Well, Gallus accepted. But Tony D and the underboss, they was like, let's go back in here and see what we can come up with for us as well. So now it's going to be a triple threat for the NXT Tag Team Championships. And of course, our reigning defending tag team champions on the women's side are always being watched and lurked and spied upon by Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Fallon was upset with Kiana because she figured out Sebastian is actually her man and she ain't got no holler for Brooks. Now, Fallon is getting ready to tell Brooks, but Alba and Isla Dawn attack her before she can get there. Kiana shows up for the save, and of course, they both were able to fight them off, and the rest split the teams up. Now, Kiana said, we might have our differences, girl, but we got these tag team titles to defend. Are you focused now? Fallon said yes. So they now are focused and they're on the same page. Fallon and Kiana will defend those tag team championships against Isla Dawn and Alba Fire at Stand and Deliver. And that was pretty much the show, with the exception of Grayson Waller and Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano started the show. Javier came out there and was talking a lot of weirdo bullshit, and Johnny Gargano just beat his ass and kicked him out of the ring. He basically told Grayson Waller, we're going to have an unsanctioned match at Stand and Deliver. That's no rules, no responsibilities, no nothing. It's just me and you beating the hell out of each other, and whoever wins, wins. It is what it is. Grayson Waller said he will only accept if Johnny Gargano was banned from the arena. He doesn't want him there. So whatever type of power he wants to exert, he definitely is. Now, Grayson Waller has to decide if this is the kind of match that he wants to have with Johnny Gargano. It's an unsanctioned match, which means that it's technically not on the books as a winner. It'll still have an asterisk next to it, but a win's a win, if you ask me. Now, that was pretty much Stand and Deliver. I mean, that was pretty much... Child, I couldn't get it out. That was pretty much NXT, okay? The whole shebang. The whole shebang, okay? I'm tired. Donnie always trying to clock me. I'm tired, okay? Now, listen. Let's do a... Eddie Thorpe, what's his name, babe? It was Eddie. It was Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe. Yeah. He one of the new NXT prospects that showed up. Don't do me, Donnie. You always clocking me. I'm tired of you. Anyways, let's get to Miss Sasha. All right. So I'm trying to wait till this shit uploads. Kenny said, when I tell you the legacy and the lock had me fucked up multiple times, them stories are fire though. Yeah. Kenny was nose dived in to WWE 2K23. I told her that game is a very large improvement from the previous game we had. It's a much better My Rise story. I prefer the Lock story to the Legacy story. Haven't finished the Legacy story, but I did see AJ play the Lock story, and it was pretty freaking cool. Not gonna lie. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find the excerpt so I can tell y'all what Sasha said, and then we can get into this conversation. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, wow. Okay. Contract has been sent. Amazing. Yay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and just see if I got any updates. I do. Great. Hold on, y'all.
Hell no.
All right, Tears, calm down, babe. Just take a deep breath. We're going to get through this without getting our feelings and all upset. Okay? If all the My Rises could be like that, bitch, I be playing that section of the game all the times. Right? Because it was very much like watching a WWE TV show. Does that make sense? Babe? The My Rises? It was like watching a TV show?
Yeah, kind of sort.
It's like watching the WWE TV show. It's really good. Okay. So let me pull up the convo that we had earlier. Where is it? Where is it? Donnie sent it in here earlier, and now I can't freaking find it. Oh, here it is. All right. So there was a conversation. There was an interview that Sasha had, and essentially she was talking about her, being she was talking about Liv being the next in line and how she should have been the one WWE strapped the rocket to. How she felt that WWE dropped the ball when it came to building new stars, and instead of bringing in Ronda and giving Ronda all the titles all the time, they should have switched that title and let Ronda put Liv over and move on with Liv Morgan at the top of the mountain for SmackDown. So I'm going to read to y'all what she said. She said, someone said in the crowd, there has to be some sort of change, right? I mean, we saw Liv Morgan become champ. Mercedes, listen, I love Liv. She's such a sweet, caring soul, and I hope the company capitalizes on her. I'm so proud of her. In fact, before the week, I walked out and I said I was through. I've had enough. I pulled Liv aside backstage with Trinity, and when Trinity and I retained, and I told Gianna, you're a star. I don't care what anyone says. You're the future. Becky, Charlotte, Bayley, and I have been trying to effortlessly build. And she just cried. I hugged her and told her that her time was only a matter of time away. And shortly after, she's champion. But do you see where I'm coming from? Look where she's at now again. Right back at the bottom. There's just no change. That's what I mean. Her. They should have dropped the Rousey storyline, focused on Liv's reign, and they didn't. They dropped the ball by doing that. What happened? They have it right back to a certain someone who, frankly, I have little respect for because she doesn't respect the business. Liv respects it with her heart. her soul. She is the future, and the company just won't recognize that. She will eventually, but they will eventually, but it will be too late by then because Charlotte and Becky aren't gonna be there much longer. In fact, I think her contract is up. After her contract is up, Becky is gonna go part time, and once Charlotte breaks the record, she'll go part time as well. You need Gianna in that top division. She's exactly what Becky said, a future WrestleMania main eventer, no doubt. No, she didn't say anything about Bianca. Here's where we had an issue. What she said about Liv Morgan and Liv and WWE not building up the women's division was 100% correct. Nobody's talking about Sasha being wrong on that accord. Where we have an issue is where she alludes to Ronda Rousey not respecting the business. And I disagree on that accord. Um my problem and the way that conversation got started was Don sent it in the group, and I was just like, well, she's not wrong when she's talking about Liv. A lot of people didn't believe in Liv, and I was one of them. I just felt like at the time she wasn't ready to go to the top. And as Liv, the longer Liv had the title, it was her booking and the way that they presented her. And I feel like that could have been changed by how they booked her, and they very well could have more than likely sent her to the top by letting her go over on Rousey in a clean way. Like at Extreme Rules, I believe is when she lost her championship. They could have let her go over on Rousey, and that be the end of that. And Ronda could have faded into the back. My problem with this is her alluding to Ronda not respecting the business, and I disagree with that. I don't think that that she doesn't respect the business. I think that she does. And one thing that Don was saying in the group chat, and that I also was saying, we all agreed to, was that Mercedes was is she had the same attitude towards Alexa Bliss. She had the same attitude towards certain people who she felt like hadn't done the grunge work to get there. And my problem with her on that front is not everybody's going to have the same trajectory. There are going to be certain people who are there and are going to do what they do, and they aren't going to be having the same walk in the park as you did. Ronda didn't come in there to take over the division. She made it very clear what she was trying to do. WWE booked her the way they saw fit. That's why I was like, if you're going to be mad, place the blame on the company, which she did, but then she did her shade towards the end of her conversation. And I was just like, well, okay, so let's put this into perspective. If we're going to talk about it, then let's talk about it. You're in New Japan right now. The very same thing that's happening with you, walking around with the belt on red carpets. You're the big star. You're the one who came in. You didn't grunge like those girls are doing in New Japan. They just started the New Japan women's division. You know what I'm saying? Like the women's division in New Japan was newly minted, like new. Like Kyrie was the first champion there. So you're the second champion and the biggest star that they got over there. The shows are selling out because you're there. You're doing all of the grunge work, all the press stuff. Everybody's showing up to see you. But the girls that were there, the girls that are connected to Stardom, and some of the other girls that have come over into the New Japan Women's Division, there were girls that were already there. Why didn't they use those girls to put it over? Why? Because Sasha Banks is a name. Mercedes Moné is a name. She's going to have a draw. They used her to build up that division. She wanted to be a part of it. That's the same thing that the E was doing with Ronda Rousey. So, like, I'm not saying that she was perfect, like Ronda Rousey was perfect in her title reign. That's not what I was saying. I'm like, you can't be mad at what was going on with Ronda when you're doing the same thing in New Japan. We're on the same page here. I'm like, the very same system that you're upset about was building you up too. And if it wasn't for that system, you wouldn't be where you are. Can you say that the system is flawed? Yes, you can. But I feel like you can do that without throwing daggers at the other girls. Like I said, Ronda wasn't there to take over the division. That wasn't the case. It wasn't like she was just like, yep, I'm coming in, I'm gonna be champion 24/7. Y'all know how this works. And if you don't, I'm going to give you a little bit of information. Fox was dead set on having Ronda Rousey as champion. That was one of the main reasons why she came back so quickly. And that was one of the main reasons why she was there as champion. While her championship reign on SmackDown, it was not great. I am not attesting to any of that at all. I never said that she was perfect as champion. Her matches were great. None of that is true. I'm not disagreeing with Sasha Banks' statement in regards to the company and how they booked Ronda and everything in between. I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I think she's 100% right. In order for the company to move forward and to keep the momentum going for the women's division, they most definitely needed to maintain the women's trajectory. And you can't do that by sitting idly by and not building up your talent. You have the talent back there and you're not using them. You know what I'm saying? I'd be mad at Ronda too. Ronda's not a wrestler. The main reason she came over is because she finally got her ass knocked out. I mean, okay, but come on, Nicole. Like, even you know that that's not how that went down. Come on. Like, even if she did get knocked out, that's fine. I'm just we're talking about her being in WWE. It wasn't like she came over there and just ripped everything away from everybody. She did what she was allowed to do. Like, what was she supposed to do? It's the same conversation we have with Charlotte. This is the same conversation we have with Becky. Everybody expects them to be able to do more. She did everything that she could do within her power. I don't think she came there to take their spots. That's not what happened. And you know full well that they used her star power to bolster that division. That's what they did, but they didn't do it correctly. That wasn't done right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that's what I'm saying. She didn't do it. She didn't come into the division and was just like, yeah, I'm taking over. This is about me. I'm like, come on. I'm listening to you. I'm not responding to you directly in that way. I'm listening to what you're saying. I don't think but I'm saying I don't think she came over to the E to take over. And that's how it came across. And then she was like, well, she doesn't respect the business. And I'm like, where has she disrespected the business? That's what I want to know. What's wrong with that? We can have a conversation because my hair is still wet and I have to blow dry my hair. Okay. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. I don't have any issues with that. I'm just saying it. I don't understand where she disrespected the business and why Sasha feels like she has no respect for the business because she doesn't have that same smoke for Logan Paul. And Logan doesn't even wrestle half as much as Ronda did. Like she doesn't have that same disrespect for Logan. She doesn't treat him like that. She's on his show, she's giving him all the love and accolades in the world. And my thing was like, okay, that's cool. I'm not saying you have to love and appreciate and bow down to Ronda Rousey. I don't give a shit about that. I'm just saying, like, if you're mad at WWE or if the issue is WWE, why are you throwing shots at her? She didn't necessarily do anything to attack them. She wasn't taking away any opportunities from anybody. While she was champion for a while, I'm not saying that she was perfect. I never said that. Her championship reign on SmackDown was not good. I'm just like, where did she disrespect the business? I don't think she had any disrespect for it.
Have a good one. She starts talking a whole lot. You gotta worry about catching hands. This one don't. This one don't talk too much. She just swings. I don't talk when I'm ready.
Am I in? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, so my thing is, I don't know. I just don't think my thing is everything is right and everything is wrong at the same time.
Hi guys, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Like again, it's like I don't I mean, I to be honest, I don't really care for either of them much. So this is like very like neutral for me. Like they're both wrong and both are right. Anytime anyone says something, and this goes from Cody to Cena to anybody who ever wrestler that comes out of their mouth, I am there to help build up other people and blah blah. You're full of fucking shit. I
I
don't believe
disagree
it
with that,
because
Nicole. I disagree.
I
Oh
disagree
shit!
because to
Yikes!
be a wrestler, and I'm not saying that they're like obviously gonna not take care of their opponents, like be disrespectful, but to be a professional wrestler and to be successful, you have to be selfish, and that is okay. So that's why I wish people would be more honest about that because it's a selfish sport. Yes, you are in a team, in a team, but if you didn't want to be like if you wanted to be in a more team environment, or if you didn't want like the
Oh shit!
spotlight or love the
Yikes!
spotlight or have some inkling to be in it, you would not do this,
I
and that's
mean,
fine. I'm 100% okay with that because you need to be a star to get this. Like you have to have some type of inkling for that. I don't believe a single person. This is like literally when I say anybody. This is literally anybody going from like Kenny Omega to nothing. I'm like you are full of shit, but that's fine. You know, you live in your truth. Um,
yeah.
I don't think. Again, I don't, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think Rhonda was taking food or taking opportunities out of people's mouth. I do not think that whatsoever. But at the same time, it's like she came in with an advantage. And again, and that's not her fault that she was quote unquote Ronda Rousey before she got there and et cetera, et cetera. But it's like you can't ignore the advantage that she had over the girls, whether she used it negatively or not. Like you can't ignore that.
I don't think anybody
We
is
never I never
disputing that.
said
No, I'm
Our
just
I
like
was
problem
I'm
is
just
her
ignoring it.
explaining
saying our
myself.
problem is her saying that she feels that Rhonda doesn't she doesn't respect the business, and I don't think that's true at all. And I feel like in the case of Liv, it was Rhonda's idea for her to put her like that whole scenario of Liv winning Money in the Bank and cashing in on her. That was her idea, and she's like, "Yo, give it to Liv. Let her cash it in on me tonight, and let I'm just so confused as to why she feels like she doesn't respect the business when her whole job was to come in there, and she even said, like, I'm not trying to come in here and to benefit off of these girls' hard work. They've been working hard for years. I'm just here for them to use me in any way that they possibly can to push this forward because I feel the women should be in better positions than what they're currently in.
Yeah. I mean, I
And
honestly
that was a
also
whole
probably
like
goes
I'm not trying
down.
to take anything from anybody. And she even said, like, when I get to WWE, one of the people that I want to fight is Sasha Banks. I want to fight her. Why? Because Sasha is the best. And I feel like Sasha had this like chip on her shoulder, like, why is this girl coming into our world, trying to do this, trying to do that, and now I'm expected to put her over? Like, yeah, yeah. It's no different than putting over Charlotte or Bailey.
I
It's
mean,
no
that
different.
no, that is the difference because Charlotte and like yes, like Charlotte has been over pushed to the moon, but Charlotte has quote unquote been in the trenches for her. Like that's like not a fair comparison in my opinion
But you can't
because
say
it's
she
like
doesn't respect the business because she came from a different sport and is now
I
coming in
think
here.
it's not that she came from a different sport because I think that'd be something like people would say that more, not necessarily like a different sport. People would really say that about um obviously people like a Bad Bunny when people see like he really loves or respect her, or even a Logan Paul, even though he has the worst personality in the world, but you can tell. I think with Rhonda, you can't tell because she's not a likable person, and I mean, I don't know that girl, but it's just how I think how she comes across and how she was able to connect and not connect. So I think she's only, and then this is just from what I, this is just kind of what I interpret it, especially with like what I seen not seen. I think Ray like lives like the middle person. Like Rhonda was happy and really wanted to drop to her because she had a great rapport, had a great friendship with Liv. But Rhonda didn't like really connect with everybody. Like she has maybe like two, three, four people that she's actually like sort of friendly or friends with. And like,
But
yeah,
I
she
feel
was
like that's
good with
everybody
working with
else's hang
people.
up too.
Sasha's the same way. She, was good with working with everyone, but she necessarily like, was kind of weird and kept herself and only had two, three actual real close friends. And I think it's one of those things is that and that's the same thing like how Naya was trying to talk about shit. Like you don't have a real relationship with that person. And when she's like saying all this stuff in character, not character, whatever the hell Rhonda was doing when she was doing like that gimmick, or still probably is. I don't know because I don't ever watch SmackDown. It's like you can't really tell because it's like, all right, you already know or could like kind of heard or seen even when she was in UFC, she did not have the greatest personality, and then she like comes over and you're like, oh, she's okay,
Shit.
she's not that bad. And then like with this, and then you're like, okay, like what is it? So what is it? And I think honestly it's just like an optics situation. I think that's what I'm saying, guys. Like it's a thing where everybody is right and everybody is wrong, and it's like two things can be right at the same time and two things can be wrong at the same time.
I just feel like Sasha bringing up or alluding to the fact that Rhonda doesn't respect the business, I feel is petty, and I
I
feel
mean,
like,
how is
and
it
I feel
petty?
like
She's
she
allowed to
feels
have
like
that opinion.
I feel like she feels she should have been the one to push forward whatever it is that was bestowed upon Rhonda, because just like Tiff said, that she didn't have this same energy towards Logan Paul, and she went on his show licking his ass like, "Oh my God, you're a natural and you belong here," and she did that because Paul isn't a direct threat to her,
Well, why isn't she allowed to
and
feel
that's the
that
truth
way?
about it.
I would feel that way.
I don't think that's true.
Like Sasha Bank. Like
No,
Sasha
she,
Banks.
but that. But that's
But why
not a
can't
true
she feel
statement to
that
feel
way?
that
Like I
way
don't
because it's
understand.
not
Like what's the
true.
problem with it?
Because she didn't go through the trenches the same way that you did.
So why can't Sasha feel
She
that way?
doesn't
That's what
care
I'm
about the
asking.
business the same way. No, because if that's the case, where's that smoke for Bianca?
Mm.
Well, Bianca was in the
Bianca didn't
actual
have that
season.
same
Like
journey
you
either.
can't compare Sasha. You can't compare like someone like a Bianca to a Ronda. A Ronda literally showed up, and they were literally teaching her wrestling as she was on TV. Like you can compare her and Dominic because they have similar trajectories. Like those are
But
like
that
completely
doesn't
two different
still allude to the
situations.
fact that she doesn't care about the business. That doesn't make sense. Like, there's no, she doesn't have any leg to stand on with that.
How I mean
Like, she
how
can feel how
that's what
she
I'm saying.
feels
like
about her
what
title
like again,
reign,
I'm not
but
saying
her
like
saying if
Ronda
she doesn't
disrespects
respect
the
the business,
business,
Hold on,
but
I
why can't
can't
she
I
feel
can't
like
hear
that?
doesn't
her.
It's
make
not like
sense.
she's a dime a dozen that doesn't feel like that. I don't think and that's like I don't think she nearly cares about the business that much. I think she loves like she's always loved wrestling. Like she had like a close rapport with it and it's something that she was like interested in doing. But I don't think God forbid if she's like they're like, oh, you can't wrestle tomorrow. I don't think she would blink about it.
Yeah, but that's different. That's having a passion that for the business. But she's alluding to Ronda not respecting their sport, and
I
that's
mean,
Which
I
I
don't
feel like
think
is
she does, but I don't
bullshit.
think she does it at the same time. I just think she's very indifferent.
that's better than saying she doesn't respect the sport,
But
though.
also, it's
That's,
like, why can't she have this opinion? She's not the first person to say this. And quite honestly, it's like a little bit more valid coming from someone Mercedes than like like Nia Jax dumbass.
No, because she pulled that same shit with fucking Alexa Bliss. Like, oh, well, you didn't do this, so, like, you don't respect what you do. No, bitch. No. Everyone is not going to have the same journey to get to the same destination.
and I'm not
Everyone's
saying no,
different.
and nobody's saying that Ronda is that Ronda somehow is absolved of anything, or that
No.
Mercedes just can't have an opinion. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, why did it have to go to that point?
And
Why
why even
why couldn't the
mention her
blame be placed
to
on the
fucking
people you
begin
have the
with?
issue with? Because the problem, Ronda could be there today and she still could be booked the way that she's booked. Your issue is with the higher ups who are booking her.
I
That's
think
what
it's
Yeah.
a
the
little bit
problem
deeper
lies,
than
and that's why
that.
I
And
want to put everyone on
honestly,
that.
I don't think it's really that bad. Like people have said worse bullshit about Ronda Rousey. I just don't understand why like this is such a big deal. It's my opinion. Like
I
I
just
feel
feel
like
like
everyone
she,
gets so upset when like things get said about like Ronda Rousey, and I feel like this isn't that bad. Should she have probably said it or mentioned her name? No, like probably not, especially if it was like seemingly like random, unprovoked, and she has an opinion and feel the way she feels. Is she probably wrong about? Does she just like not respect the business? Maybe, maybe not. But it's like
my thing is, if you feel that way about one, keep that same energy for everybody else.
I mean, who's the everybody else? I feel
Because you
like
can't sit on fucking Logan Paul's show and be like, oh my God, you belong here and you blah 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 in one breath when he doesn't care. Period. Like he's only working the pay-per-views. And then say in the same breath, like, oh well, Ronda doesn't care about the business. For what reason so? Because you feel like you should have been the one to push forward this movement and they chose somebody else get a bigger name and bigger star power
I
and
don't think
someone
that
that'll put butts in the
my
seats.
my thing is we're having a conversation. This
I don't
conversation was
I don't get
brought up
it.
in the group chat,
And
and
it
I
makes
wanted
me
to
so
hear your thoughts
sad
on it.
because
I wanted to hear what you had to say about it
I
because
mean, I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal. Like I honestly like Ronda Rousey is gonna sleep perfectly fine
I
at
just
the
feel
end of
like
the night.
I just think it makes me sad as a female because we always shout this like women empowerment and women supporting other women and blah blah blah
I
blah blah
mean,
blah. And then here you
honestly,
are as someone who is not in the company anymore, which is fine, and you feel the need to somehow mention somebody who's in the company and say something like, "Oh well, I feel as if she doesn't respect the business." Like, wait, what? Where'd you get that from?
Like I said in the group chat,
But
we're
you're
not
doing the
privy to
same
all the
thing
information.
in
My
New
thing was
Japan.
we don't know
I just don't
everything.
get it.
We only know what we're seeing. So we go by what we're seeing. So
I'm
I was like,
confused
if it's
and I'm
something
annoyed.
else that she saw and we didn't get to see, that's fine. That's
and
what I
that's what
was
I'm
saying.
saying. This could be something based off of like what she's seen. Like that's what I'm saying. Like she is valid to have her opinion. It's not like she called her out of her name. It's not like she called her like a bitch or whore. Told her she got where she at because of whoever she was. I'm
They
like,
can't
so
see you,
I
babe.
don't think like it was anything insulting. Like I literally don't understand
Malcolm
why
says
it was
hello, by the
such
way.
a
He's
bad thing.
hey, what are you?
Like that's I don't
Why are you
get it.
being
Like
like
I
that?
feel like everyone gets so like in hackles about Ronda Rousey. Like she's a grown ass fucking woman. She is fine. If Sasha has the opinion that she thinks that whatever she does to respect the business, whatever, that's on her. And if Ronda sees her be like, hey, like I don't appreciate that, then she has to answer to that. Again, like this couldn't like we could think it stem from something else. It could stem from something else. She's not like she told her that like she didn't belong. She didn't tell her that she wasn't untalented. Didn't tell her that she deserved. She just said that I don't think she necessarily disrespect the business. You know how many men wrestlers would say that to each other and worse
Wait,
stuff
Mike is
in
on
the
the phone.
past. So I don't understand like why it's such a
Ow!
problem.
Ow!
That was the convo we had in the group chat. We were just talking about it. And because you missed it, I wanted to hear what you had to say about it. We were um we were having a conversation about it and I wanted to hear your opinion. You know that I value all of your opinions and I definitely value yours. So I wanted to hear what you had to say. Um we can I mean if that's how you feel about it, I'm not mad at you for it. I mean it is what it is. I I tend to think that the conversation in terms of what Sasha said, I just felt like it could have been said differently. I would feel that way if it was
Oh yeah,
anybody else.
100%. I'm not denying that. But she could have said it way worse. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not like she was literally like tearing this woman down, like calling her out by her name. Like, and they could end up having a conversation and resolve this for all we know. So
I
that's
just
what I'm
feel
saying.
like
Like, I don't understand why it's like
for me
such an
personally,
issue.
and
Like, I
like
don't
I'm
care
just
about
so
Ronda
over.
Rousey's feelings because I don't think she cares about anybody else's feelings, and she shouldn't. She should just keep doing her. Mercedes should keep doing her. So I don't understand. Like I don't understand this pity party for Ronda
Well, it's not just to
because it's not
Rhonda.
afforded to many other women
It
in
could
the industry.
it
Let's be
for me
real.
personally, it could have been for anybody, but Rhonda just so happened to be the person that she brought up. And for me, I just feel like I'm so over this with Sasha, this narrative of someone doesn't appreciate the business or someone doesn't respect the business because they came into the business a different way that you came into it. And like I said before, she did that same thing with Alexa Bliss. Oh well, you didn't grow up watching wrestling, so how could you like? It's this inferiority complex that she always has with people, and I feel like that shit is so fucking tired, and it's not cool because not everybody's journeys are going to be the exact same. Everybody is not. Everyone isn't isn't going to be an indie darling. Everybody is not going to work for pizza and hot dogs like you did. And I feel like, she does that to people,
I think Sasha, that's like
particularly the
what, and I
women. And I
agree
feel
because I
like
think
in the case of Ronda, Ronda came from the world of combat sports, where she was for quite some time the only female, and she had to fight and struggle, not the same way, but very similar. She had to fight and struggle for her worth, and I feel like she feels as if, oh well, Ronda was handed everything, which in some regard is very true, but she was also there to be like, yo, like if I can be the person that is gonna push forward the women to where I feel like they need to be, use me. The bitch was even on Total Divas. And she was like, yo, like reality TV is not my thing, but if me being on this show is gonna help the other girls, use me. Use me.
What were you trying to say, Nicole?
I mean, I agree with the thing with Mercedes. Like, that's one of the many reasons I don't like her. Because I feel like she's very gatekeepy, and
That's the
it's,
word.
huh?
That's
That's
the
the
word
word.
she was looking
Yeah, I
for.
feel like she's
Gate.
very gatekeepy,
Yeah.
and that's what another thing that I don't like about her fans as well is that just because that bitch is eating, sleeping, shitting in the ring and doing bumps and rolls 24/7 does not make her better than anybody else. That means she needs to get some fucking therapy.
Yeah.
And that's like understanding, but at the same time, it's like both your bitches along. It's like I was like, doesn't a new season of your show start? And you
What
got
just
the IWGP whip. Like, why are you worried about Ronda Rousey?
But that's what I
That's what
was
I'm
saying.
saying.
And I wasn't trying that's what I was trying to say. When we were in the group chat talking about it, it wasn't about her speaking her truth at all. It was just
Was so
you're
Ronda?
doing
I
the
mean, I
same
can't. I'm not
thing.
gonna scroll up. I don't have time for that. Was it? Did someone mention her in the in the interview, or she just started it?
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, she's the one who brought it up, but the whole interview wasn't posted. It's just that excerpt.
I hate that. I don't like that.
And I'm like, well, I don't know what else was said. And then on top of that, like I said earlier, we don't have all of the information. We only have what we're privy to right now, right? And all we know is what we've seen. And like to give you all the conversation, like Don was just like, I'm not really gonna take a lot of social cues from Sasha because she's
Oh.
limited on that front. So he was like, that she's not the type of person I would be like, how do you feel about this person? Because she doesn't, in his mind, she doesn't have the discernment to know that specifically. At least that's how he felt about it, right? So I was like, okay, that's fine. But I'm like, she's entitled to feel how she feels about the E. She's entitled to feel how she feels about the booking because she was right. I'm not denying any of that. I
Right.
just wanted to know. My thing was, what do you mean by she doesn't respect the business? And I was like, what was she not respecting? That's what I was lost on. And I'm like, if we're going to be real, the same thing that you're doing in New Japan is what Ronda was
Ronda
doing
was
in
doing. Yep.
WWE.
Yep.
You got the same booking. You came over, first time being over there, got a title shot right out the gate.
And they
Didn't have to
strapped
have
the
no grudge
title on
match.
her.
You didn't have to have no grudge matches. You didn't have to
Nope.
grind. You know what I'm saying? You built your name up to be able to go over there. And this all goes back to what I was saying before. You had a certain type of level that you can command going into any other company. If you had went to AEW, it would have been the same shit, different toilet.
Yep.
So are you gonna say
Girl,
if
it's a disaster over there. She should just stay where she's at.
that, and that's fine.
It's
I'm
not, and
just
I'm not being
saying.
funny. And before someone tries to come on here, no, I'm being dead serious. Like,
Nicole.
I actually watch AEW almost every week before someone tries to come in here. It's not
I'm
good.
sorry.
Certain
Nicole,
parts of it is good.
I'm
I'm not gonna
sorry.
shit on them too much. The women's division is not good right now. I don't care what no one says. It's
No, but
not
the
good.
funny thing is that you're dead ass serious. It's just the way you said it.
It's not good. It's just not. It's not.
But I
There's
and
a
I'm my
they got
thing.
a lot of there's a lot of stink. There's a lot of shit going on over there, and I mean
Oh
that
No, it
in the
God.
is.
worst possible way.
Oh boy.
No, it is for real. They
Yeah, I'm
have
not.
good pieces. They have good pieces at
Yikes.
AW, but they're not
It's
using them the way that they
Right.
should. But like I
it's
Mm.
said,
like
that was why I was saying like you're doing the same thing in New Japan. Like the
Yeah.
girls that are there,
Yep.
they could have built their division up
some
with
people are
those
low key
girls.
mad that she took that from Kyrie because Kyrie have even had that division again. That division is like not even a year old,
That's
maybe.
what I'm saying.
That's what she's saying.
But
Right.
that's what I'm saying. They haven't even had a chance to really build it. So you're there, you're coming over, you're now Mercedes Monet, but it's different because it's you.
You. Right.
What is the
Right.
difference?
So would it be fair for all those Japanese girls to be like, oh, she doesn't disrespect the business either?
There is a girl over
Because
there.
they can say that.
What is her name?
Are
Because
you
Don
talking about
shares her in
Maria?
the. What'd you say?
Are you talking about the blonde girl?
Yeah. What is her
What's her
name?
name? And I really like her. Because I've been following her for a long time. She used to be like she still is obviously a wrestling fan, but she was like a wrestling fan.
I know her name. He sends her in the chat
Maria
all
makes
the
it starts with
time.
the M. I'm so sorry, girl. I really like her too. But
What
I love her story because she started off like as a fan and started training. She's from the UK.
he just sent her stuff in the group chat.
I think I sent her stuff too, and I forgot that poor
Is she
girl's name.
Japanese?
No, she's
No,
Oh.
American.
Oh,
no,
oh,
she's from the UK.
Oh, she's
oh.
from the UK.
Hmm.
Oh. I'm
No,
cooking.
but
I'm
she's
sorry. I'm
really
like,
good. She's really good. And she's got that little bitchy streak to her, but she's
She
not.
reminds me of Trish.
Yeah, but
is she in New
better.
Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
she's in
wow.
Stardom.
Oh wow. Oh, I gotta check that out then.
I can't
She
see her
reminds
post.
me
I
of
don't.
Trish and Victoria.
Oh wow. What
Like
a
Where's Don?
combo.
Where is he? Let me check the comments.
that's a very odd combination. But yeah, because
Yeah,
It's
it
I was
is.
Maria
like, because
K.
I
They
thought
put
I
it in
was
the
like, okay,
comments.
that's cute for Mercedes, and then I really thought about it. I said, wait a second, Kyrie haven't had that belt for very long.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
that's what she's trying to say.
I'm telling
So
you.
it's okay for you to go to something that's not
Of
your
course, it's
world
okay
and
because
get
it's
a
her.
title strapped to you, but it's Ronda. She doesn't respect the business.
It's
Like,
Mercedes Monet. Of course, it's okay.
pick a
No,
fucking struggle, bitch.
hell no, because we're gonna call a spade here.
Spade, right?
That's why I was saying if you're gonna say that, then you gotta check your own shit at the door too.
If she gonna say that, hand me your belt, I'll take it.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
That's
right.
all.
I ain't
I
taking
don't
no bumps in
mind.
Japan. You
I
got me
don't
fucked up.
mind what Nicole was saying earlier. She's right. You don't have to be so serious in it. But my thing was when you're talking about it the way you're talking about it, we're sitting here and you're telling me you don't like this and you don't like that. You have issues with Rhonda. Like I said before, we're not privy to everything. We don't know everything. So I can only go by what I've seen.
I don't need to know everything either.
So what I'm saying
I don't
is
either, but like,
you're telling
if
me
we
that
don't know,
Ronda
don't
doesn't
say
respect the
shit.
business. And I'm like, your issue is not with Ronda Rousey if it's about her booking and the way that things went down with her in
Or take
terms
that
of
shit up
how
with
she
Triple
went
H and
about it.
Stephanie, the fuck.
That's the issue.
Right.
Like, why are you not mad at them for that? Why are you blaming her? Because if we're gonna do that, then you should be giving Charlotte the same smoke.
Yep.
You didn't get that shit to Becky, and
Nope.
Becky was beneath all of y'all.
Okay.
You didn't say nothing. So
Nope.
I'm like, cool. If issues with that whole conversation when she said they had a chance to build it and they stopped it. She is absolutely right because I
Mercedes
have
needs
said
to worry
it.
about her cuck getting cooked up on Twitter before she starts.
Oh
Right.
Lord,
Oh my God.
please. I'm like, no, she's right because I've said it. Nicole has said it. We've
Yeah.
heard tears of talk about the women's division lacking at some points. We've
Yep.
seen it. So
But
it's
that's where
not.
it should have stopped. She
That's
didn't
why I'm
need to
saying, I'm
bring
like,
Ronda into it.
right. That's why
For
I
what
said
reason?
you can have your personal feelings about Ronda Rousey. That's fine. I don't have no issues with that. And I ain't gonna argue with you because I like who I like and you like who you like. There ain't no
Right.
issues with me. But my thing
Right.
is, if we're gonna call it down the middle, then we got to call it down the fucking middle. Because what you're
All
doing
the
in
way
New
down.
Japan is no different from what they did with Ronda Rousey. And I was like,
Yep.
the only reason why Ronda Rousey had the championship as early as she did is because y'all know damn well that Fox wanted it.
And that bitch was walking the red carpet of the fucking Expendables with the title the same way you are walking the red carpet of the Mandalorian. It's the same shit.
Same way Becky is, same way or did, same way Bianca did is.
Yep. That's all I'm saying. I'm like,
Yep.
you can't go off half cocked and say stuff like that.
I
And
do want
then
to see the whole interview for context
and
because I
I
don't
want
like
to
it
see
being
it.
broke up.
It looked like the way that this was structured, it looked like they was sitting down asking her questions. And she
Was
answered.
this at the Comic Con thing she did recently?
Don is the one who has
Because
to
there's
answer
a
that
clip of
question.
her where like somebody asked her about her leaving WWE and she was like kind of pompous, like, oh well, like people can believe what they want to believe, but I'm never gonna talk about like then don't fucking like really like
In
I
that
can't.
regard, I mean, I to play devil's advocate, a la Nicole, she protected her interests
I wouldn't say
because
shit either in case I go
if
back.
she go out, because in
I
case
wouldn't
she
say
want to
shit
go
either,
back,
but just be like no comment. Like if I don't talk about that, or
no,
like
because see,
don't
it's
be
just
like,
like
well,
if you
I'm
if
gonna
you
say what I want to say, and it's like, all right, cool, but like if you're not gonna answer it, just say that
she
and
could
move
just say,
on.
honestly, I would have been like, I felt like my time with WWE at that time was up, and I wanted to try new
Yep,
things. That's what I would
perfect
have
answer.
said. But
Perfect
like I
answer.
said, she's gonna still be low key in character when she does that, and that's
Yeah.
why
Yeah, because she doesn't have a real personality. I've talked about this. Come
and
on.
that's one thing that Nicole. No, for real. And
No,
that's what I was telling
it's
y'all in
true.
the group chat when she was
It's
I
true.
she was in
girl, I
there.
be cooking Sasha and people don't be listening to me.
She do, and I'm like, Nicole has been saying this about her for the longest
I clocked
time.
that
I've been
Becky
saying it also because I'm just like aside from her abilities, I don't get
thank
what the
you.
hype
Because
is about
we've
her.
been saying this
I
for a
really
minute
don't.
here that and who was it told us that we was hating? This was a long time ago.
It was somebody.
Keelan.
Oh
Yeah, it was
God.
Keela, and he was like, "Y'all are hating on her." I'm like, "No, I'm being. What is her like? I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I have never gotten it.
And I
I'm
was
like,
just
do
like,
y'all
well,
want to
I
fuck
don't
her?
have no
Like, I
issues
don't
with
get it.
her. Because I didn't see, I wasn't trying to see all that because I didn't pay attention to that shit on the outside. I just didn't. And I was just like, well, character wise, she all right. I mean,
My
it's
only
fun to
thing
watch
that
her.
like I can really respect is the fact that she was one of the people that really wanted the tag titles, and she was more than willing to put over Bianca, and that's it. Everything else, I'm
I
like, no, no, sis.
but like I said, like Nicole is not wrong when she says two things can be right at the same time.
Yeah,
She's also wrong though, but in the part that she, like I said, you you can't hide your hand to hide your face. You can't do that. You
no,
can't double talk me and then in one breath say, "Well, I feel like WWE didn't do this, this, and this," and I'm like, "Yeah, girl, you right about that. They didn't. They should have because they have plenty of opportunity." But when I was talking about it earlier, I was like, WWE did the very same thing with the four horsewomen. They brought them in. That cut
and they
off.
Thank
took
you, it's
over.
Mariah
That
May.
Yep.
cut
I
off.
was right.
Yes, it was what?
Shit.
What'd you say, Nicole?
Her name is Mariah May. That was I
Yeah,
knew I had her first name right.
that was the girl. I couldn't remember her name, but Kenny been in that. The 2K group chat is where Don shares all of those pictures of the indie wrestlers because that's what he uses for inspirations for his cause. And he always shares her there. He shared her a few times in the main group chat, but I couldn't remember the girl's name. But her name is Mariah May. And she's a UK girl, but she's really
That's the girl that's
good.
up next.
She's really good. And if this is how you know she's gonna be a team player. The next person who should be a champion, you can keep Sasha have that belt, go through a few girls, but she should not go through Mariah May. Mariah May needs to be the one that take that belt off of Sasha. And then we'll see.
Do you know how long her contract is there?
No.
Mm.
No, I didn't ask.
You know she probably don't got no fucking regular contract. Let's be real.
I don't want to know because I don't give a damn.
Yeah.
Because I can't. It's not that I don't care about New Japan. I think there are great wrestlers there, but the way that New Japan is structured, that's not entertaining for me. And it's just a different way to present wrestling, and that's not what I'm used to. So while I respect it, and I'm glad that we get to see new people and new things get put out there, I'm not a fan of that style of wrestling. And to me, that's just not something I can't watch.
I'm not very familiar with it either. Like I know like of some people. I know like back in the day China like went there for a very short period of time and then like X-Pac fucking ruined it for her, but
right.
I'm not really up on that either, but like I think her being in Japan is a great thing from an aesthetic standpoint. Like, hey, like here's a black girl who is taking over a Japanese corporation. That's great, but at the same time, it's like she's being given the same opportunities there that Ronda was given here, and it's like, but there's no discrepancy there though. That's where she loses me with it.
That's why I want Jade to hurry up and drop that belt so she can head over there.
Okay, so she was at Comic-Con. It was Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City.
It was Comic-Con, yeah.
Trash. Kansas
I was
City.
right.
They have a few excerpts on WrestlingNews.com, but this one is more specifically geared toward her WWE stuff. And she just said that no, but that's what Tirza was talking about. She just said nobody knows the story. You don't know the story, but you're reading whatever you want to read and believe whatever you want to believe. Nobody knows the story because I haven't said anything, and I'm not going to say anything because that's just the classy boss that I am. Yes, she was very much in character. Okay,
and I feel like in 2024 she'll be back there.
I mean, I'll be honest. I could live without Sasha Banks being there.
Same.
I don't have to see Sasha every week because she wasn't wrestling on the regular every week to begin with. And that's just, I'm not even trying to be shady. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Like after a while, you get used to what you get used to, you know? Ronda's not going to be at Mania this year. She's not wrestling at Mania. She took a break.
Really?
Yeah.
They're not in that tag team title thing?
At least that's what they've been reporting.
Oh, wow.
And she hasn't been on TV. When's the last time she was on SmackDown?
Because I thought they was going to be in that tag team title thing.
If they are, I haven't seen it. And then what killed me about that whole tag team showcase thing was the men got picked immediately.
Yeah, but the women got to qualify.
Yeah, the women had to qualify, and I was just like,
Maximum male models should have been in it.
Yeah, I
don't
for
care.
real.
They got the best gimmick on
because
SmackDown right now.
They're so funny, they're so funny. Oh my god, they're hilarious.
No, they really are. At first, I was like, funny. The fuck? But then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, this shit is funny.
I'm like, this is the
best so ridiculous
ever been, and this is the way. This is the only way this shit is gonna work.
No, he ate them up in that tweet. What did he say? What was he said? What was the qualifications? He said bald and something. He got them together.
They was on at some live show, and somebody told him that
the Daisy Dukes he was wearing was really short. And he was like, yeah, you got the best view in the city right now. And I said, child,
Boo.
please. But they're funny. And Maxine, she's funny. That's why when Don says everybody has their place, that's true. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And it's like, you, in order for people to get to a point where they're seen as stars, you have to build them.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it. And
That
that's the
shit
biggest
funny.
issue.
People want
Yeah.
everybody to be wrestling like fucking. Sorry, saw the sinus infection. Fucking Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole and fucking Kenny Omega. I'm not
Not
trying to
Adam
watch
Cole.
that shit for 3 hours. The fuck?
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
As soon as he was saying, Gargano said, Masha, I'm quite useful. I said, oh God, no, don't be doing a 2 out of 3 falls. I will not go.
Nah, he want an unsanctioned match, babe. Which that's
Also,
right
so
up
speaking
Grayson
of Johnny
Waller's alley.
Gargano, was I I was really surprised that they had Dominic beat him clean. I'm like, wait a minute, what the
I didn't
hell?
like that.
I didn't
I
like
don't
that
like
either.
No.
I don't like Dominic pinning all these people clean because he's not good enough to be doing all that.
That's what
Right.
I was saying.
I have a real big problem with
I
that.
was like, wait a second, what the hell just happened?
I
So
would
what's gonna
okay
happen when
it
he
if it
wrestles
was
his
a
dad?
if it was a wonky win, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. But he should
But
not
he,
be pinning
but he
all
beat
these
him
motherfuckers clean.
clean. I'm like, what the
Pinning
fuck?
them clean.
Who is booking him like that?
I don't know. I
I was
don't
like,
know.
what?
It's too much. Finn, when's
Johnny
the last
Gargano
time
of
Finn
all
ain't
people?
barely pinning anyone fucking clean?
Aaliyah said it's been 3 weeks
Is that
since
the cat? Oh, hi, kitty.
Ronnie has been since Ronda Rousey has been on TV. It's
2
been 3
weeks?
weeks.
Oh
3.
wow. Is she
And I
okay?
know she's not gonna be. I think she's fine. I know she's not gonna be
Because
there
allegedly they
Friday.
said she was injured. That something happened.
I don't think
So
she's
She fine.
injured.
She
I
probably
don't know if
fucking
that's a
chilling,
kayfabe
making
injury
some
or
steaks.
yeah.
What
Ouch.
happened?
Listen, she's fine. She's probably just making some steaks.
On her farm.
I know she goes live a lot on her YouTube channel. So
I do want to
Yeah.
buy some of them steaks.
there, that cow that they be selling, the whole cow. Oh, that shit is not cheap. I was like, let me get a half a cow from Ron Rousey.
My
Yeah,
friend's family does that, like once or twice a year,
Mhm.
and they split it in between like his parents get it, and they split it in between like the kids. So the parents, and then him and his 2 sisters.
Well, Tiff, she should be sending you cows for free because she love you. So I don't
Exactly.
understand that. The fuck?
She ain't gonna send it to
I'm
me. She'll
not.
send it to you
What?
and then split it between us. I just want
Shit,
at
she
least 2
should be sending
steaks.
you shit for free, girl.
You
Cause
heifers are
she love you.
petty.
I just
I'm
want 2
dead
steaks.
ass. I'm dead ass. She love you down, girl. What? And the guy gets she probably sent it to you too. If you ask, like, hey girl, can I get a cow?
Now, see,
That cow will be there the next day.
Okay.
y'all ain't shit.
I'm dead ass.
I am too. Let me figure out your password and DM Rhonda.
Now they did say on the 17th of March.
Don't be trying to change the subject. We talked about this.
I am
Okay.
not doing that.
Why not?
Because I don't do that.
Girl,
I don't bother that lady. I don't.
she would send that shit to you. Like, yeah, girl. What's your address? Bam.
She knows my address. Her assistant has my phone number and address.
Okay. But then call that hoe. The fuck?
Jesus.
Email it to me. I'll reach out to the
I
assistant
will
if it
not.
makes you feel
Because
better.
her ass will actually call her. And I'm no.
I will.
No.
Rhonda,
Going
this is
back
Tiffany's
to
friend. You don't like me. You probably don't like me, but you like Tiffany. You send her a cow.
You
Okay. And some seasonings too.
stop.
Be like, all right, thanks, sis. Also, I won't boo you when I see you.
Did I actually love you? The fuck? She ran to you like, oh my god. I'm like, yes, bitch.
I can't.
She said Tiffany's here.
Well, I
Yes,
don't
she
know
did.
what's
She's like, oh
going
my god,
on,
she's
but
here.
Carmelo wasn't there Monday, and Carmelo was supposed to
Not to
team.
changing the subject.
I am, because y'all ignorant.
Carmella looked good that one week she was there with that black outfit. That was cute.
Yeah, but that was last week. But
Is she okay? Because she wasn't there this week.
I don't know, but she wasn't there. She was supposed to team with Chelsea, and they ended up switching her out for Piper.
Oh,
Oh,
she's.
she all right.
I'd be worried about her.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, but the original plans for them was to have Ronda, and I guess whoever wins in this match gets the challenge for those tag team titles.
Oh
See, if
Because
god.
Sasha said
Ronda,
some shit about Carmella, I would tweet her and cuss her out.
she did not.
Oh my
No,
god.
I'm saying if she did.
Okay.
If
Well,
anybody did,
Ronda
I'd cuss them
and
out.
Shayna are supposed to team because Ronda doesn't want the championship. She said, I don't want to have anything to do with that title. Let somebody else have it. Because they were
Yep.
gonna, that's what she said.
She was actually supposed to be the one to face Rhea Ripley, and she was like, no, like
She said, give
let
it to
Charlotte do
Charlotte.
it.
She
Yep.
said, I don't want to do that. That's not something that I want to do. She said Charlotte would be a bigger hurdle for Rhea Ripley to overtake. And
There's an
this
Yep.
has
actual story to that. What are they taught? What is wrong with them?
babe, I'm telling you that
And that's
when
what she was saying. Like, no,
that's
like
why she
let
was like,
Charlotte do it.
I don't have any desire to be champion.
Right.
I'm not trying to go
And
back
she
after
don't
the
need to be though
championship.
either.
And she said, I don't want to challenge Charlotte back for the title. We've had our
Mm-mm.
time and it was fine.
Right.
And that's where
Right.
she left it. She was
Right.
like, I want to focus on Shayna and I and our relationship. And like I said, because the way they were building it, Charlotte hadn't come back yet. So I'm like, okay, drop the tag team titles. Because it's not going to be Becky and Lita aren't going to have the titles long.
Allegedly, Trish is gonna turn on them at Mania.
That's what they've been reporting, and
Yep.
that she's going to end up going after Becky at SummerSlam this year.
Yep.
Who?
Becky
Trish.
and Trish are going to be fighting at SummerSlam this year. That's what's being reported, and it's not just by Dave
Trish sure do
Meltzer.
fucking love going to SummerSlam.
She showed do. That's her spot, baby, and it's in Detroit. So,
Oh no, we ain't doing all this.
But Trish still look good though, and she could fucking go. So I'm not really mad at that.
That's what
No,
they
I'm not
want
mad
to
at either,
do.
but it's like, why you just keep going to SummerSlam?
I mean, if Becky wasn't tag team champion, they could do it at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
they decided to give those titles to Becky and Lita.
Lita.
I think
Which is
smart because that's a good reset.
yeah.
Because they're on important people. One of them is a Hall of Famer. And when they transition, it's a good reset transition, especially to get ready into the draft season.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're on important people. So once they go to someone else, they're not going to be such trash, and they can go from there to build it up. It should
Yeah.
have been Toxic Attraction. They should have just kept them hoes together.
Well, hopefully, I mean, I said, I understand why they split them up, though.
They shouldn't have split them up. That was stupid.
I think it was a good idea because you can't. A lot of people don't get the opportunity to build themselves up or to learn as singles competitors on the main roster. It's a sink or swim type of ship.
And I feel like
it's easier to fail a couple times there than it is on the main roster.
And I feel like Toxic Attraction, when they had that match on the main roster, it wasn't that good. So I feel like splitting them up, I think, in that regard was smart. But I feel like I don't think either of them are ready for the main roster yet.
They're not coming
that's
up.
why
They're going to stay.
Tag team. Because
they were
the
good
main
as a
roster
tag
needs
team.
tag teams, men and women.
They do, but
Yeah.
It's bad.
But if they bring up, I mean, that it was one match. I'm not gonna lie, it was one match. But that one match, Nicole, on SmackDown, they got exposed, babe.
Big time.
It was
And
bad.
on the
I don't
main
think
roster,
I've seen
you
that
get
one.
one shot and that's it. And they failed.
And that's why I was
Both of them.
like, I'm okay with them splitting them up and then them trying it out as singles competitors, because you can always reunite them when you bring them back to the main roster. It doesn't have
Yep.
to make
Because
sense on the
Sammy and
main roster.
Kevin.
No, she's right. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to make sense on the main roster because it's a
True.
whole
Nope.
new ball game over there.
Yep.
Was that
Mm-hmm.
match that bad? Because I don't think I saw it.
It
Yes,
wasn't that
Because I
bad, but
don't
it
watch. Because
wasn't
I
good
don't
either.
get to watch SmackDown.
it was bad.
It wasn't good at all.
It was bad.
The last time I watched SmackDown was the SmackDown after Royal. Was the SmackDown that Cody finally
Not double
fucking showed up.
homicide. I'm sorry.
You said it was what?
Not double homicide.
She laughing at Kenny comment. Kenny's stupid.
Yeah, it was that. It was the when Cody's decided that he's going to show up to SmackDown, and before that, it was months. Like I do not watch SmackDown.
Oh yeah, you missed it. Yeah,
I'm
she's
sorry.
still laughing.
I'm sorry,
It's-
Nicole. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Oh my
It's it wasn't
And
like,
if it's that bad, I'm not going to watch it because I'm not wasting my
I'll
time.
be honest, it wasn't like Tiffany Stratton's debut,
Oh
right?
God,
It wasn't like that. But
that
it
was
was
awful.
really, it was almost like they were
Holy
trying to
fuck.
figure out what to do. Like you can see them thinking in the
Oh
match.
no,
There was no
no.
fluidity with them.
Oh,
There was no
God, that shit's so
chemistry. I don't even
attacking.
remember who they were going up against.
I forgot to.
But it just
That shit
wasn't
set me
good.
attacking. Oh my God, not double
And we were just
homicide.
like, what happened? And then they get back to NXT and they're fine.
Holy shit, that was fun.
Were they nervous?
I don't know. That could have been a thing. But they
Oh man.
Not they was stinking that bad.
they weren't good.
Ooh, they was stanky.
They weren't good at
Like
all.
an
And
AEW
usually I would give them the benefit of the doubt. Usually I give them the benefit of the doubt because I'm like, well, it was your first time on the main roster, but given the fact that y'all was tag team champions and y'all was going the way y'all was going to NXT, it was Sonya and Natalia they went up against.
Oh.
That already sounds a mess. Why was they tagging?
It was Sonya and Natalia they went up
Why
against.
was they tagging? Who did that?
I don't know.
They need to. I love Natty. She need to go in the back. I'm tired.
When I say it, I get called a hater. And I'm on the Natalia hate train. I'm like, Natalia been here for 2 decades.
Yeah, girl. It's time to hang up the boots,
literally
sis. And the titties.
was born.
Why you at it?
I was literally born, went through puberty, probably lost some eggs, and she's still wrestling.
Yikes.
Please.
On that note, I gotta go. I love y'all. I'll be in the comments.
Can't. She said she lost some eggs. I can't with her. I said I don't have a problem with Natalia.
I have a problem.
She's a workhorse. Everybody can go through Natalia and learn more. But my thing is she doesn't carry storylines well. The only one that she did that I actually enjoyed was when her and Nikki Bella was going at it. And she told Nikki Bella if she wasn't married, she probably would have married John Cena too.
What? She's stupid. I was like, what the fuck? I'd have beat Natty's ass if she said that.
And she took me out. I said, bitch, what?
Not even because she said that about my man, because of the principal. I said, Natty, shut the fuck up. You think John Cena's his psychotic, overly clean ass is gonna marry you with all them cats everywhere?
No,
The
ma'am.
fuck out of, I want to beat her ass.
She went off and I was cracking up. I could not stop laughing at that shit.
I would have fought her.
That was the only time I was like, you know what? Natalia is ignorant and I'm here for it. And when she be on Twitter, that shit be funny.
She said, "Oh, this is Natalia's assistant." Daddy, you can't afford no assistant. Let's be real.
That shit be funny, but it don't translate in the ring against her opponents.
Nothing translates.
So it's like, I'm sorry, she's just not my cup of tea. She is not somebody that I would want to watch entertainment wise. If I just wanted to watch a good wrestling match, Natalia, I can watch Natalia wrestle for sure. But her being like involved in a storyline, that's not something I care about. I just don't. And genuinely, my mind just goes, well, Natalia wrestling today, so cool. I mean, it's no shade. I'm just saying. I'm okay with Natalia. I'm just ready. If you're gonna start saying you want new people, then be real about the new people. Don't just focus on those that you like. And that's where I have a problem because a lot of people are just like, well, I like Liv. And then when Liv gets her moment and then she ends up going back to the bottom, that was another thing that I was saying about Sasha. I'm like, your ass was at the bottom when you lost your championship. You was not at the top of the mountain. Charlotte was, and so was Bailey. Then when Bailey lost her championship, she dropped down. That happens with everybody. The WWE has ebbs and tides and flows. Everybody knows that. And I think once things get shaken up again, we'll get some new blood because Bianca's not going to be at the top of the mountain forever. Sure, she's going to be a top billing star. Nobody is going to be able to take that away from her. You know what I'm saying? And I get her frustration in terms of the booking, but my thing, like I've been saying, like place the issue with those who bear the brunt of it. The WWE are not doing their due diligence to ensure the future of the company. They're not doing their part. And you have to do that. If you don't, then you face the fact that your women's division can become extinct. And that's not okay with none of us. None of us really want that. We want to see everybody thrive. And like y'all said, Liv will grow on you. And she has. You have to give people opportunities. You have to give people a chance. If you don't give them an opportunity, like they're never going to be able to get it there. And Nicole was one of the first ones that was like, besides Don, because Don been advocating for Liv since day one. Okay. But Nicole was one of the first ones that was like, you know what? How are we going to get new people if we don't let people have an opportunity? We got to just watch it and see it through. Which she was right.
I was because I was like because I was wanting people dragging her all the time, and I was like, you know what? I can't keep dragging that girl because she doing what we complain about people don't do enough, and what we say that the WWE don't do enough is build new stars. So it's like I can't get mad at her trying something. This little Amish boy is traumatized and is crying his eyes out. He a little bitch.
Oh, no, you ain't right.
But that's what I was saying. And I was like, and yes, I was like, her first run was stinky. But it's like, but when you look back, look at Becky's first run at SmackDown was champion.
It was
That was
against
terrible.
Bliss, and it was horrible.
It's horrible.
Yep.
Because
but she also dropped to the bottom.
Of the time, it was so horrible. You would forget a lot of time that she was the first SmackDown Women's Champion.
And she was. She was.
That's how bad it was.
Right.
Who else was it? Someone else's was not good.
Natalia's.
Natty's wasn't good.
Naomi's wasn't good either because of the way they booked her.
I didn't mind hers too much. Who was? There's somebody else. I don't.
Yeah,
it wasn't Charlotte. It wasn't Charlotte. Who was it? Bailey's.
It was Bailey's. Well,
NXT was good. When she got to the main roster, was not. Because that's when she had that weird "this is your life" shit with Alexis Bliss.
Oh, her Raw Women's Championship run. Yeah, that wasn't good.
Her NXT one was amazing.
I thought her SmackDown title reign was very good for her.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Her SmackDown one wasn't bad. Her Raw one, that ooh.
That was her first one though, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah. We
that's
gotta
what I'm saying. It's a.
let them get the stinkers out of the way.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
that's why I was and I was like, we can't. I said, I rather that bitch stinking up something now than it be. We got everybody sitting at home. We got we got everyone sitting at home, and you're in a situation like how WWE was a couple years ago when everybody left the men's side, like when literally um The Rock was gone and Stone Cold was gone, and then Taker wasn't really there, and then fucking Rick's old ass was retired, I think, and then Shawn Michaels wasn't there, Hulk Hogan wasn't there, and it was literally just Cena,
That was it.
and that was literally it. And he had to like suck it up and be like, oh shit, like he had to literally be who he was until they could take a couple years to figure some shit out.
Yeah, because Randy was still there at the time,
But
and all they had was Randy, Mark Henry.
Randy was not reliable.
No, all they had was Randy, Mark Henry, Edge until he had the neck problems.
So that's why I don't really count him.
It was damn. Then AJ Styles came over. Jericho
That was a
still
while.
there.
That was like a few years after that.
It was Randy.
It was depleted.
Wow, it was. It was Randy and John. They were the only ones left. Dave Batista was gone by then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Everybody, that's when they all boom, 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 boom. They all left right after another, all like back to back because they either had to retire, went to a different company, or yeah, that's it. They either retired or went to a different company. Hell, Brock was gone at that time.
Brock was gone.
Because that's when he was in UFC. So literally everybody was gone.
Bobby wasn't there either.
Wasn't there.
He wasn't there. He was in Bellator.
Yeah, Bobby Lashley wasn't there. That's when he was in Impact. Who else was in Impact? Kurt
Angle was over there.
Jeff was in Impact. People were gone.
Yeah. She right.
I vividly remember. That's like one era that. Did you ask me a question about it? I probably might know a little bit.
That was a strange era. That was a strange couple of years because I don't even think I was watching then. Because I started back watching a few years before the Shield debuted. Because wasn't Wade Barrett still there then?
Yes, he was still there.
And they were trying to build him up, and
he was stinking too.
Yeah. Oh, God. I want to say it was a couple other people, but they were like the kind of people you would see as like mid-carders, people who would.
Cody was gone.
Cody was gone. Ted was gone.
Dusty was real gone.
Ted DiBiase was gone during that time. The only people that was there for sure that I remember, Kofi was still there, but they weren't using Kofi like that. But Kofi was still there. John was still there. Randy was still there. Damn, that was wow. I don't remember the mid-carders. I don't remember them.
Because who they had in the main event was mid-carders. That and also that division wasn't big enough yet for them to have mid-carders. Like they literally the mid-card division was like 5 people. I'm not even exaggerating. That's why they was, and I was also another reason they were okay starting to push the women because they had more women there.
They did.
They had more women And that's another big reason why Beth Phoenix started to get a lot of focus.
Oh shit, that's true.
When I tell you
Damn.
I can write a paper about that era
Okay,
and
so
how much that has affected not only the company as a whole, how it is now, but the industry in general, that period.
that's crazy. Can you say I didn't start watching it on my own until the whole Cena Nexus feuds and Cena and Miz, and then the whole Punk Del Rio Cena shit.
That whole era
Del
is a
Rio was
giant.
there.
That whole era is literally a giant
It
butterfly
is.
effect.
It
It's a
is.
huge butterfly effect.
Because Del Rio was world heavyweight champion during that time. But they didn't have no choice. They didn't have
They
anybody.
have no choice for nothing.
Zack Ryder was there. Uh, Tirza said, wasn't Kofi and Evan Bourne tag team champions at that
Yes,
time?
and that's around the same time they had that one picture that always pops up. That one of them always somebody always retweets. It has like Kofi. I feel like Evan Bourne is in it. Beth Phoenix. Um, CM Punk is in it.
Was that the era of the Divas of Doom when Natalia and Beth was like running shop?
Uh,
Was that after or before that?
it was after it.
Okay.
But it's that picture that they always post. I think Cody. It was before Cody left.
Dolph
It was
was
when
champ
Cody. It
too.
was when Cody was IC champion, and then Kofi was tag team champion with somebody. Beth was Divas champion. Punk was the WWE champ. It was such a weird time, and
Yeah.
one of them always, at least once or twice a year, someone in that group tweets or posts that picture on Instagram.
That's true. Kenny said that was after Mania, wasn't it, when that picture was taken, or wasn't that
Yes,
a SummerSlam? It was after Mania.
it
I
was after
remember that
Mania.
picture because in Nicole's right, it's every few years somebody tweets it out and they go like the good old days or remember the
Or
time.
talk about like how because it was such a weird time.
Yeah.
And they were
Well,
like, it's crazy that all of us, especially like especially like looking at how where a lot of them are at now, and it's like, and even what was going on, like they're like, that was so crazy.
yeah, I remember Beth when she tweeted out, she put, what did she put under the caption? What a time to be alive. That's what she put in there.
Yeah, that was a crazy ass fucking time.
That was
I
a
could
good
I could
chunk
write a
though.
paper about that.
That was a good,
I would do a podcast episode about that time.
I think that'll be a fun episode. That was a good chunk of time though. It was a good piece of time that was happening. And like it's kind of similar to what's happening now. The WWE was severely depleted. But then
This
they
the
went,
most similar time that has happened recently that can contest that was the Thunderdome area.
yeah. And now, I mean, now is a time.
Well, now it's purposefully, and it's done to like it's done to make sense. Then it was like you didn't have no like it was just Roman, as he should, was staying his ass at home because I wouldn't know.
Facts.
Like I'll see y'all when I can get vaccinated. I'll I'll call you. Um, I'll call you.
Brodus
Um,
Clay was a whole fever dream.
and then who else? And a lot of them dudes was not coming. Sammy and KO weren't showing up for a while.
Yeah, they was still on the indies. Where were they at? Ring of Honor?
Sammy was not showing up to work. A lot of the men were not showing up at work.
Oh, she's talking about pandemic era. Yeah.
Yes.
Sammy wasn't with the shits. And Kevin wasn't gonna do it. He went to Vince and convinced him, you gotta tell everybody to get vaccinated. Like his father, I think his wife's grandfather had
Someone
passed
passed
away.
away.
it was her father or her grandfather that passed
I
away.
think it was her grandfather.
Yeah, it was real bad. And he was just like, that's enough to scare me. Like, I don't ever want to see anybody go through that kind of pain. Cause that wasn't the way they were supposed to go, you know? And he was just like, please go get vaccinated. It's important. And he went to Vince and was like, listen, he was like, whether you believe it's real or not, like people are dying and you're risking your superstars over something trivial. He said, no, like make them go get vaccinated. Require it if you're going to have us in here wrestling. He said, if you don't do it, I'm not coming back in here. Vince said, okay.
And the funny thing about that is because that also prompted the sports team to implement that.
Mm-hmm.
And stricter one was the NFL. They was playing 0 games.
Hell yeah.
They said we pay y'all too much money for y'all be fucking around. Could as soon as someone violently said they were like, okay, sit out. I'm not paying you.
And as they saw what was going on in WWE, they was like, we might be able to do this. That's how you had the dome with the NBA.
The bubble.
And that's how you take the bubble with the NBA, and that's how they was playing football.
I would also like to have a conversation about that because the WWE figured it out and was able to do, and the sports team picked up on that and transitioned to what works for them.
Yep. KO could never do no wrong in my eyes. Sammy either. Quite frankly, those are the two best human beings you can look to in the WWE.
And
at this
even
point.
though I don't like Vince and I don't like what was that old president's name, Trump, but I wasn't mad because that's when they had him on. What they had him on the sports committee?
Yeah.
What was it? And people were mad about it. I was like, I'm mad about a lot of things he does, but this actually is not one of them. I was like, I think it's a good idea to make sense.
They was able to come up with something and people had something to watch. Super Bowl, finals, and everybody was protected.
Yeah. NBA was terrible during that time.
No games.
Well, there was no way to protect them.
It was there was a way to protect them. They just weren't doing what they were supposed to. Them players were just acting crazy.
Those football players were not going to sit in a bubble like the NBA players did. They were not going to do that. They had not agreed. And when they got ready to implement a bubble for the NFL, the Players Association said they weren't going to agree to that.
I think that, the NBA wasn't agreeing to it because they weren't used to rules like that. But NFL has like similar rules to that, which I did not know. There's this girl, I need to find her TikTok again, but she's a wag, and I forgot what team her husband plays for. But the team didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but they got pretty close. And she was talking about things about the NBA or things about the NFL that would surprise you that people don't know, and it's like coming from like as like a wag or whatever. Ooh, I gotta go to bed soon. And she was talking about how when they have home games, they're not allowed to just spend a night at home. And this is the same thing when they go on away games. And if they have like a partner or wife or whatever, they are not allowed to stay in the rooms with them. They have to go to their room by a certain time, and it's locked. And if they violate or if they leave, they get fined.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I'm dead. Yes, it's dead serious. So they're not going to and I do honestly, and once I was thinking about that, I said, I bet you this is Dennis Rodman's fault. And it's because so they're not like, go out at night and show up at the game drunk or whatever, or try to go out and like do all this time when they got a game the next day.
Fair.
I said, I bet you this is Dennis Rodman's fault.
Dennis Rodman was out there wilding
in the middle of fucking the finals, going to Vegas, showing up on fucking Nitro,
Just ignorant.
not showing up to practice, but he would be on Nitro that night.
Well, y'all, I'm finna call it a night because I gotta get up and work tomorrow. And I know Nicole's ass gotta go to work.
I definitely got going today. Tomorrow's gonna be a not so fun day.
So one day when Nicole has some time and the girls are ready, we'll have a different conversation on the podcast and we'll talk about some more stuff. But we are gonna record this week and we're gonna do the predictions this week. And we're gonna have Trey D from We Love Wrestling on there. And we're just gonna talk about WrestleMania and Stand and Deliver. All right. Even if they add new stuff, I'll still do the storyline recap, so that'll be up there, and I'll just add the predictions as the matches come in for Stand and Deliver and for WrestleMania. I'll just come on and tell you what the girls and what Trey D thinks about each match, so it'll be some continuity for it. Other than that, make sure you guys go and look at the podcast. There's new podcasts coming up for both podcasts that I have, which is the Down for the Count podcast. It's up there. And there's stuff up there now you can listen to. If you haven't already, please go listen to it. Make sure you share it and rate it. It's important because that helps tell Spotify that we're a good podcast for people to listen to, and they'll send it out even further. And if y'all do that, then we can dedicate more time to the damn thing. Okay? If people get paid, they be able to put more time into it.
Do it.
And then you got my personal podcast where me and AJ are going to talk about The Last of Us because we watched the first 2 episodes and that shit is so
I'm gonna start
unnerving.
Swarm.
I already watched it.
I'm gonna watch. Well, I'm just gonna watch the whole thing on when am I off?
Swarm.
Thursday, Friday. I'm gonna watch it probably. I'm gonna watch it Thursday because
Oh my God.
it's only like what 8 episodes and it's only like 35 minutes.
Each episode is like is it like 45 minutes, Jared?
35.
It said
Each
35.
35?
Yeah.
They're 35-minute episodes. You were right. They're 35-minute episodes, and I watched all of them in a day. So they're not. It's not bad, but it's really really good show. It's definitely gonna be an emotional roller coaster for you. I will say that it's a lot. It's a lot in that show. That literally could be 3 or 4 shows based off of what we
I know.
saw.
And like especially like I love like and it's funny like the Beyonce reference her, but I was like, oh my God, they're like, you think she's offended? And they're like, she literally read that whole script. I was like, I think she's trying to tell y'all something. Relax. Leave her ass alone.
They have we got the KTT. I'm getting ready to do the review for The Last of Us, the first 2 episodes of The Last of Us, which Nicole, you definitely need to watch that. It's fucking creepy as hell. I can't explain it enough. It's just so unnerving. That show. Swarm I could deal with, but The Last of Us,
I don't like how some of them things on there look, and I was like, ooh, I ain't watching it.
Girl. It's so
I have like trypophobia sometimes, but it's like, which I know that doesn't make sense. But some things don't bother me, and some things do. Like a lot of people who have like severe trypophobia, like they can't look at like strawberries or like something else.
anything that have holes or look like
or like
holes.
coral or something like that.
Yeah.
Stuff like that doesn't bother me because that's like natural.
Yeah, but this ain't.
So yeah, so I saw a picture. I was like, oh no. I don't know.
It's so unnerving and it's just so it's really intense.
I can't be
really
watching
intense.
something that's gonna make me look like want to itch the whole time.
It most definitely will.
Because I'll have anxiety and then I won't enjoy the show.
It definitely will. It's not for the faint of heart, I'll give you that. But if you're into that,
so I'm okay.
That zombie horror shit, and you like a lot of blood and you like a lot of gore, like this show doesn't hold back on that shit. And it definitely shows like it's just the viral infection thing is what gets to me every time. I
See,
don't
and
like
I
it.
don't mind gore stuff. I don't like body mutation.
That's exactly what you're
That's
gonna.
very like, ooh, like that's one like there's like very very few things like in like the horror. There's like something like there's like a lot of like I'm not like super desensitized and stuff. There's like a couple things that I cannot like I have a hard time like consuming is like mutation, especially human mutation and
Yeah,
bodily mutation, and when there is like some type of cannibalism or alluding to that, like I cannot deal with that.
it's
Like
just
that short circuits my mind. I'm like, that's wrong. I can't do it, and I'm like, click.
yeah, it's very overwhelming, and Gerard was like, babe, if you're having a hard time, just we gonna stop watching. And
Yeah.
I finished out the second episode, and I was like, I can't watch that again. Like you're gonna
What's a
have to give
perfect
me.
example? That movie, that old ass movie from the '80s, The Fly.
I can't watch that
That's
movie.
a perfect example of I cannot.
It's so gross.
I
It's
watched
so.
that movie once and I said I will never watch that movie again.
I've only watched it once.
I will never watch that movie. And I watched that movie and I was like years ago. So I think my grandma was still alive.
I was a kid when I watched The
Yeah,
Fly
I
for
was
the first
young
time,
when I watched that. I said, "Oh no!"
like really little, but I remember it vividly, and that freaks me out.
I remember when he threw when he.
Please don't, please, please don't.
Oh, it's making me itch.
No, if you like
I'm gonna throw
if you
myself in the
like The
street.
Walking Dead and you like stuff like Fear the Walking Dead, it's
That's not
much
that bad. That shit don't bother me.
it's much more intense than that though, because it's not like it's similar. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, it's very similar, but it's different because of the way that the mutated infected look, and then how they pass the virus is even worse because they're all connected through the unit of the you guys got if I get the time Wednesday, I'll talk about The Last of Us and then you can understand what I'm saying because I don't want to spoil it and I'll give you time to watch it and then tomorrow I'll talk about it on the live. But we're gonna talk about it on the. I'm gonna do that part with my husband. I'm gonna get that stuff done, and I still have the Am I the Asshole episodes to go up this week, and of course we got all this stuff going. Like, did she just say she was gonna throw herself in the street? I'm crying.
Yeah,
No.
fuck that. All right, I need to get
Nicole.
off of here.
All right, Nicole. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
She. So if you come back Wednesday, we'll talk about The Last of Us. If you guys are freaked out by The Last of Us, the only way I can get you to understand the show is I'm gonna have to show you pictures. So you're gonna freak out. So just be fair warned that there are gonna be some very, very odd looking creatures on that show. So I will talk about it tomorrow, but I'm also going to be reviewing the show with the hubs and we're going to talk about it together because we watched it together. He played both of the video games. The last time I did the podcast, did the show, I think it was Quay James that came in and was telling me about playing the games. I have seen the video game, so I already know the story for The Last of Us. I'm watching the show, and the show was slightly different from the actual game, but it actually is very on par with what happened in the game, almost to the letter. So it's still it's well done. It's a good show. It's very overwhelming for me specifically because I don't like how close to home it is because we just got over COVID and we're not even through that. And this now is fungal infection shit. That's not cool, man. It's not cool. But here's the deal. We'll talk about all that stuff tomorrow. And of course, you guys can always follow me here on the KTT podcast and make sure you give me a thumbs up or give me a rating of some kind. It's a rating system over on Spotify. So you can rate it from 1 to 5 stars on that podcast. And if you do, just shoot me a message or respond in the comments. There's a part on Spotify that tells you, hey, how did you feel about this podcast? Tell me what you want to hear. If you want to hear specific topics from me, I'll never know if you don't tell me. You can always message me on Instagram. All of my stuff is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. And for my sake, please, babes, make sure you guys rate, comment, and subscribe, and continue to follow me here, because this is where you get all your wrestling information. We always have debates and we always have a difference of opinion here, but ultimately we can all agree, or we can agree to disagree. And that's okay, because everybody has a difference of opinion and everybody has their thought process, and there's nothing wrong with that. We can have conversations and still be friends and still be adults. Okay, with all that being said, I love you guys. Okay, thank you guys so much for showing up. And I forgot to mention my top commenter of the day. Did I forget? Who was it? Who was my top commenter of the day? It was Aaliyah. She was my numero uno. So shout out to Aaliyah for being number one. Thank you so much for showing up on time and early to the show. I appreciate that. And if you want to be the top commenter of the day and get a full shout out, I will most definitely encourage you to be here early. Okay? Show up early and I will make sure to shout you out just as I do everybody else. But you're going to have to fight, because the girls be in here on time, honey. Brandy, Aaliyah, and Kayla, they come in here ready. Okay, and sometimes young boy Jay be in here before all of them. So if you want your shout out, you guys to come early. Okay, I appreciate y'all, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for sure. All right, tomorrow's a lazy day for me, so I'll be prepared and more than ready. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll have a chit chat about everything. Okay, see how they fighting. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.